pamayanan. Ako, ikaw, tayo'y isang pamayanan. La la la, sumayaw-sayaw at umindak-indak.
Isn't it great when all your procedures, all your manuals, all your guidelines come together and do what they're supposed to do, create synergy and teamwork? Well, I'm here to tell you that in our Bopha response, or Typhoon Pablo as it is known in the Philippines, that really worked. But I'm not here to tell you about manuals and guidelines and procedures. The reason I'm supporting this submission for this category is that for me, it was really important that all the work that we did throughout our emergency response in the Philippines was supported not only by IH, but also different national offices, other country offices, our regional office. And so for me, the spirit of partnership and teamwork, the passion and also the compassion with which the helping hands were extended were far more important than any manual or any procedure or any guideline. For me, this has really motivated me to keep working on our emergency response, to become even better at it, and to really learn lessons from how we've done it this time. There's one lesson that I can teach all of you right now, and that is that teamwork and one plan, one goal really works. So thank you very much for all of you. There's too many of you for me to mention that have been involved in our response. We really, really appreciate it, and we know there's going to be a next one. So watch this space.
Hi, my name is Janice Ridstill. I'm the Child Protection and Emergency Specialist at Plan International. I'm based out of international headquarters in the UK, and my job is basically to oversee Plan's policy and programming in the area of child protection in emergencies. So I was very happy to go out and support them on that. My TOR kind of was two things basically. You know, first of all, to help Plan Philippines with the technical quality of their response. But they you know, not that they needed very much help. They have a very strong team, so it was a real pleasure working with them and helping them to develop it a little bit. And then also to kind of work at a higher, more strategic level in terms of strengthening the coordination for child protection. It was an interesting experience for me, although unfortunately I did have to cancel my Christmas holiday. While I was there, actually, I was also supported by someone from Plan Indonesia, Wahyu Kunkoro. So Wahyu was deployed, essentially he was working as my information manager. And at the same time, of course, we had other people from the region, like we know the logistics specialist, we had Gareth Crawford, the DRM regional manager, working on different aspects of the response with the Philippines team. So yeah, definitely it was great to see a country office that was striving to achieve more. You know, striving to achieve better response and not just looking at saying let's make sure we do a good job as planned, but saying let's make sure that children overall, you know, children affected by the typhoon everywhere have better support and you know, are protected.
Hello, my name is Gareth Crawford. I'm the head of DRM for the Asia Regional Office. The success of this response, I think, is a credit to the whole one plan philosophy, bringing together resources from right across the organisation. This meant that we were able to deploy Matt Crook from the regional communications team well ahead of time, and that the Plan Philippines Go teams, the emergency response teams, were on standby and ready to go before the typhoon made landfall, as was IH's Child Protection and Emergencies Advisor, Janice Ridstill, 3 Plan Arrow disaster response staff, and various national organisations were prepared to respond once the typhoon made landfall. The Plan Philippines staff were there and amongst the first to arrive in difficult to access typhoon affected areas was noticed by many other actors, including specifically the USAID OFTA representatives. And this directly led to us securing a $1 million grant for relief aid from OFDA, the USAID's Disaster Response Office. I should specifically acknowledge the efforts of Frank Manfredi from USNO and his team for their support in securing this OFDA grant. With the added help of INO, Irish National Organisation, SNO, Sweden, the German National Office, ANO and UKNO, plus rapid response contingency funds from both IH and the Asia Regional Office. Over $2 million was very quickly mobilized for the typhoon response. Whilst most of the credit, I think, has to go to Karen van der Hoor and the Plan Philippines team, this was a genuine one-plan effort and a great example of how planning, preparedness and excellent coordination can significantly enhance plan's agility and capacity to respond to a major disaster.
Hi, I'm Reno Sudibio, Logistics Specialist for the Asia Regional Office. During the Bopha response, my role was to help the country office team in designing a supply plan and carrying out the logistics planning to deliver the supplies to the affected sites. We work with everyone from the country office and to the field and the PU and the emergency response team. It was one of the greatest response we've done in years for the region. Mainly it's because everyone was in the same spirit to be as one and working side by side and making the deliveries work well. So hopefully many more to come and working with the Plan Philippines teams. Congratulations.
Hello, my name is Vittorio, Program Officer in Plan UK. My role in the public response was in mainly supporting Plan Philippines at the initial stage of the emergency by helping the project design. Most importantly, I went a month after the emergency to have a field visit, monitor the project together with ACO, the donor, who was visiting the area. I was very impressed by the project, by the way it was implemented, not only actually the component funded for ECHO, but I think the main strength of that response was that it was able to combine different funding sources, different donors, for a total of 2.2 million emergency response in a very well coordinated manner and showing how different funding sources were properly matched together. So that, I believe, was the main strength of that response.
Hi, I'm Yuta Uchiyama from JNO. We supported Plan Philippines in the Bopha response by raising funds, and we are happy that our funds have helped. We will also support school construction for the victims. Thank you.
My role in Plan's Typhoon Bopha response. I had some very mechanical and predictable sort of NO functions. Working with the Plan Philippines team to develop the concept paper to get to OFDA. Ryan Lander and I working with Plan Philippines team on creating the final proposal and submitting it to OFDA. On the USNO side of it, I was also able to work with the USNO marketing people to try to help raise some funds, some unrestricted money for the response effort. And that was through web appeal and paper appeals. But I think the best thing about it was that my role was really just to be a part of Plan's response team. There were so many great people involved, from Karen van der Hoor down to, you know, the community volunteers in Davao Oriental. The good thing was that there was a sort of seamlessness to it. It wasn't NO, CO, RO, it was the response team. So, you know, I might be working on something with Reno Sudibio and Dewin Elagado and different people from different offices. And there was no sense of sort of separation or hierarchy. It was a very organic and felt like a seamless response. It was one response team, it was one plan, and I feel like that's why it worked so well.
Sayaw katulad ng dagat, sumayaw-sayaw at umindak-indak. Sumayaw-sayaw katulad ng dagat. Tayo ang sandigan, di magigiba. Tayo ang sandigan, di magigiba kasi